Welcome back. We're now at lesson 13D, and it says that in the next preview assignment and in the next class, you will need to be familiar with stratified sampling and collecting representative samples using this method. If you don't already have two cards or glossary pieces started that are for stratified and for representative, you definitely need to make sure that you do that. Starting with a stratified sample. As you saw in the in-class activity 13C, in a simple random sample, all the members of the population are given the same chance, all the members. But another method of sampling is called stratified. And in a stratified sample, the population is divided. It's divided into logical groups, and then we go collect, as we did earlier, a random sample of the certain number of members. It is then collected from each group. Suppose your school is interested in obtaining data from a stratified sample of students in order to accurately represent the school's population of commuting students. So the school would like to obtain this from a stratified sample of students who commute to campus by bus, car, or bike. Part A. Well, before you answer, make sure you've already hit pause and you've answered at least question 1, maybe question 1 and question 2, but at least hit pause and work on question 1 and then come back and let's walk through it together. So in part A, who are the logical groups in the stratified sample that's described above? So the logical groups would be students who ride the bus to school, students who drive their car to school or drive a car to school, and students who bike to school. So then fill in the blank. To ensure an accurate representation of the school's population, the school should randomly sample members of each group of students. The percentage in each group in a stratified sample should be the same as the percentage of those schools in the survey, of those students in the survey. For instance, if 28% of the students at the school take the bus and the survey is going to consist of 300 students, then the school should survey 28% of the 300, or about 84 students in the group. So question number 2, if you haven't already worked on it, head off and go do that and then come back and I'll join back with you at question number 2. Your school is interested in determining if the campus should build a parking garage or a new intramural sports facility. In the following problem, you will compute the number of students to include in each group of the stratified sample for this study with commuting students at your school. The school has determined that the student population of commuting students consists of the following percentages. You see that 30% ride the bus, 55% car, and 15% bike. Totals up to 100% of the commuting students. Suppose the school would like to obtain a stratified sample of 50 commuting students. Using these percentages in the above or previous table to determine the number of commuting students in each group to include in the sample, and then fill out the following table. So I'm grabbing a calculator, and on my calculator, I'm going to do 30% of the 50, and 30% of the 50 would be 15 students. So we need to make sure that we have 15 students who ride the bus in our sample. I'll keep going. I'm doing 55% of that 50, and I get 27.5 students. Well, it doesn't tell me what to do with the half, so I'm going to try 28, and then I'm going to make sure that in the end I still add up to 50. Now it's time to look at the number of students who ride their bike, and I get 15% of the 50, which is 7.5 students. Let's call it 8, and let's see what happens on our rounding. I have 15 students who are bus riders, plus 28 students who are car riders, plus 8 who bike. So I'm going to have to make a decision whether I include 27 in my car riders or 7 in the bike riders. It's the last one I did, so I'll do 7 on this one. But wait, in order to reduce the error in the study, the school decided that they really would rather survey 200 students in their stratified sample. So now let's determine how many students from each group should be included in their stratified sample with 200 students by filling out the following table. So on the following table, I'm grabbing my calculator again. I'm going to do 30% of the 200, so 200 times 0.30, and I get 60 students who are bus riders. 55% times the 200, and I get 110. And then finally, 15% times the 200. But I always should double check. So I'm taking my 30 plus my 110 plus my 60, and I get 200 students in the sample. So just a little bit more practice on the stratified random samples. Part C, you need to definitely attempt this one by yourself before I get to it with you. So go ahead and hit pause, work on parts C and D, and then come back and we'll work on these together. On part C, of the following samples of students at your school, which sample is stratified? Circle your answer. So starting with part A, students who are interested in business, students who are interested in, students who are involved in a campus club, and students who commute to a campus. So looking at this one, it's kind of nice that it is split up into pieces and parts, but are they connected? They are students who are interested in business, who are involved in a campus club, and who commute to campus, but are we taking one topic and then considering all the possible categories? So maybe. How about all the students who are between the ages of 18 and 20, and all the students who are older than 23, and we're missing some gaps of students. So this one really doesn't sound right. We're missing parts. I'm going to jump down to D because it's the students in your class, and that one's not going to work. But this one, we have part-time male, part-time female. Then we have full-time male and full-time female. Then we have part-time students who do not identify as male or female, part-time and full-time students who do not identify as male or female. And stratified is going to more closely align with part C because it takes one group and divides them up into many parts to study each one individually. So having said that, part D says, let's fix them. Fix the ones in part C that were not examples of stratified samples to make them stratified samples. So looking at part A, that was the one that was like, oh, that one sounds pretty good. One way we could fix this to get it more of a complete group is not to be so diverse with business and a campus club and a commuter to campus. Let's stick with interested in business. And we could survey students who are interested in majoring in business, and then we could study the other half of that, students who are not interested in majoring in business. Leave all of this other stuff out, and that's what stratified looks like. Go to part B. You know, we had the students 18 to 20, and then the students older than 23. Well, what if we got the students who were between the ages of 18 and 20, and all of the students who were, where are they? All of the students who are between the ages of 20 and 23, and then all of the students who are older than 23. The only thing we need to do is to declare where is 20 going. Like we could say between 18 and 20, and then between and including. So this one could be between and including the 20 and the 23. And then we could go older than 23. And then we're grabbing a stratified sample of ages. Part C is the one we liked. And then part D, it's the students in your class. So it's not bad, but what's missing and what's the other group? If these are the students in your class, then we could go talk to another group who are the students not in your class, and that would fix part D. That completes this lesson. So 13D is over. Go look at your syllabus to see if there are any more lessons to do for this week. If there are, keep going. If not, we'll see you next week.